Hey guys, SH here, and this is my 14th episode of Battlefield 4 Weapon Guide. And this time, I'm going to be covering the Ace-23 Assault Rifle. So without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Unbelievable, we're at the bottom line of the assault rifles already. This is totally unbelievable. So without any of you guys' help, this wouldn't be any possible at all. So I just want to thank you guys so much. But anyway, so the Ace-23, this is going to be the last assault rifle that you'll be able to unlock. And if you guys ever watched some of the competitive scenes of the Battlefield 4, you probably know about this gun already, because this is one of the most frequently used gun in the competitive scene of the Battlefield 4. And the reason is actually very simple, and it is because of its outstanding balance between the rate of fire and its recoil. And I know there's another gun called the M416 which has a very similar stats to the Ace-23. For example, if you look at the rate of fire of this gun has a rate of fire of 770 rounds per minute. On the other hand, M416 has a rate of fire of 750 rounds per minute. And the recoil time and this first shot multiplier, like everything else, M416 can be the best gun in the game. But the reason why you do not see a lot of people using the M416 competitive scene is because the M416 has a slower rate of fire than the Ace-23. And especially in those competitive scenes where all that milliseconds, a smidge of bit of rate of fire matters, that's why you do not see a lot of people running around with the M416 or any weapon that has a lower rate of fire than 770 rounds per minute. So that's why you see a lot of pros using the Ace-23 as their primary weapon. But anyway, let's first talk about how to unlock this gun. Well, to unlock this gun, it's pretty simple. You need to get an assignment called the Assault Expert, which you need to get 50 medikit ribbons and 200 kills with any assault rifle and 10 assault rifle ribbons. It's pretty straightforward as long as you use any assault rifle and try to kill a guy, especially in like 64 Operation Mitchell. If you get in there and if you just put a health kit around, you should be able to get a 50 medikit ribbons easy as a cake, and then the 10 assault rifle ribbons, you just have to kill 6 people in one match. As simple as that. And it just needs a little bit of patience, and you should be able to unlock this gun extremely easily. So the damage of this gun is very standard among the entire assault rifle, which starts at 25 up close and 18 at a distance. So which means that it's gonna take 4 to 6 shots to kill, but generally 5 shots to kill, because that is gonna be the range that you're gonna be engaging people mostly with. And then the rate of fire of this gun fires at 770 rounds per minute. And like I said, the reason why you do not see a lot of people running around the M416 is because it fires a little bit slower, and in the competitive scene, that little bit of rate of fire matters a whole lot. So 770 rounds per minute, I'm gonna put that as kind of a moderate rate of fire. And of course, it's not the fastest rate of fire in the entire game, so I'm just gonna put that as a moderate rate of fire. And then the muzzle velocity is pretty fast, which fires at 620 meters per second. And if you compare this gun to the M416, which fires at 600 meters per second, I know it doesn't sound whole that much, but if you actually use it, that is one of the reasons why you see a lot of people running around with the Ace-23 instead of M416. In this episode, I'm mostly going to be comparing this gun to the M416 because it has an extremely similar stats to each other, and I'm going to be talking about some of the strengths and weaknesses for each. But anyway, the muzzle velocity is pretty standard on the M416 and Ace-23, so it's not going to be mattering that much. And if you press suppressor on, it's going to drop down to 330 meters per second. And putting a suppressor on Ace-23, I would recommend you in some of the cases where you want to engage guys in a close range, but between the medium and the long range, it's going to get a lot difficult than close range, because it reduces your muzzle velocity by roughly a half. So if you want to engage guys in a close range, yes, you can use a suppressor. But if you want to engage guys in medium and a long range, no, just do not use a suppressor, because you're going to get a huge disadvantage. And the bullet drop is very standard among the entire assault rifle. In fact, any fully automatic guns in Battlefield 4, which has 15 meters per second square, so there's nothing special to talk about it. And the magazine size is 30 rounds plus 1 in the chamber. Now about the reload time with Ace-23, the reload time of this gun is kinda in the medium side, which takes 2.1 seconds with 1 in the chamber and 3.1 seconds empty. Well, actually, I'm gonna take that back. It's gonna take pretty good amount of time to reload, and if you actually compare this gun to the M416, which only takes 1.8 seconds to reload, yes, that's kind of a lot of difference. So if you want to engage guys in the server, which has around 32 to 64 players, which is a huge server, yes, I do recommend you to use the M416 as your primary assault rifle. But if you want to play more competitively and if you want to put your tryhard pennies on, I recommend you using the Ace-23 as your primary weapon because it fires a little bit faster, and yes, the reloading time is a little bit slower than the M416. But in competitive scene where the little bit of rate of fire matters, I think that is the best choice to go. Now the recoil of this gun is a little bit higher than M416, which has 0.36 upward, 0.15 to the left, and 0.25 to the right. So it's mostly going to keep upward to the right, so just be careful about that. And also one of the interesting about this gun is that it only has a first shot multiplier of 2. And that is a pretty low first shot multiplier. And if you compare it to a weapon such as an M416, which has a first shot multiplier of 2.2 times, that is also one of the reasons why a lot of MLG pros or tryhards likes to use the Ace-23 because it has a little bit lower first shot multiplier, which makes the gun even more accurate over a range. So recoil isn't gonna bother you that much, but if you want to reduce some of the recoil, I recommend you putting the angle grip or the compensator and you should be good to go. Now the aim down sight accuracy is very standard, which has 0.2 when standing and 1 while moving. There's nothing special to talk about that. So is a hipfire spread. So hipfire spread is also very standard, so there's nothing special to talk about that either. And then another bad thing about this gun is its spread increase per shot. This gun has a spread increase per shot of 0.1, and if you compare it to weapons such as QBZ-951, it has 0.085, and 0.1 to 0.085 makes a huge amount of difference. So what I recommend you putting is a stubby grip on this weapon, especially if you want to be a tryhard and if you just do not like burst firing at all. I do recommend you putting a stubby grip instead of the angle grip because this gun already has a very low first shot multiplier. So pretty much the only weaknesses about this weapon is its reload time and then its spread increase per shot, and other than that, this gun is a beast gun in the game right now in terms of versatility. But like I said, M416 can blow this gun out of water in terms of reloading time and in terms of overall versatility, but that little bit of rate of fire makes such a huge difference, so I do recommend you using the Ace-23 if you want to do well in the game. Now for the recommended class setup, I do recommend you putting the Coyote sight on, which is one of the best one-time sight that you'll be able to use because it does not have structure vision by any way, so I do recommend you putting that. And this is going to sound a little bit weird because I'm not going to recommend you putting any attachments other than the stubby grip. And the reason being that's because let's say that you were putting a laser sight or flashlight, because if you put a laser sight or flashlight, it is going to reveal your position by a whole lot. So that's the reason why I do not recommend you putting any attachments other than the stubby grip. And as soon as you put your stubby grip, you don't even have to burst fire. If you see a guy, you just snap, aim down sight, and then shoot, and you should be able to win most of the gunfights unless the enemies are using their high rate of fire weapon such as FAMAS or F2000. But still, if you want to put some attachments, go ahead, you can put it on. But for me, I really struggle when putting a laser sight flashlight on because it reveals my position every single time, but it's all up to you. So I think that's it guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, you know what to do, like, favorite, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace!